Oh, sickos! My name is Bix Bestit, and you are back here with Don't Call Me Diva, where we only talk AEW and affiliated women's wrestling in the style of kayfabe and whimsy and madness and fun and, all of this. This is what you get here. We also have I almost like to say law here at Don't Call Me Diva. It has been almost a year, and we have a bunch of silly stuff that we put into reality. So if you would like to know more about that and me, and also why we're here, why we started this amazing, crazy adventure, go check out episode 1 in the playlist. All right. We are in episode 35. Woo! And it's 2026, the year of spice. Well, not well, spicing up in a good way, like adding like flavor and deliciousness and a place that yeah, she want to be. We want to change the IWC in 2026, make it a bit better. Even if we make it slightly bit better, it will just bring peace to the world. Wrestling will solve all the problems. Well, at least in our minds, it will, at least anyway. So let's hold on to that. Are you ready to get into today's episode? I would like to put a little disclaimer on this episode first. You may notice the energy in the studio here today is quite erratic. And we will not be changing that. That's just what we're going with today. This is what you get. This is what I've got. Let's get right into it. She's very clicky. We're going to stop with the clicking. We are going to be hitting ROH first today and checking in with the Fallen Ghost, American Joshi, the Minion Overlord, the Forever Champ, the ROH World Champion Athena, who is currently 1,131 days champion as of recording this. Athena expresses her feelings in a wonderful little promo about 2025. She didn't seem to think that it went that great. And yes, she did not win like what she went for every time, but she never lost her ROH World Championship. I don't think she had a bad 2025. I mean, well, she wasn't around as much as I would like. She didn't get her big like 1,000 day celebration, which I wish. But I thought she had a great 2023. But if this motivates her to have an even more passionate, violent 2026, well, then who am I to stop an inspired forever champ? You know? Athena is already quite passionate about violence, so this next level could be quite devastating to everybody. Lacey Lane, I would just like to say, has been hanging with the crew, and on ROH, she makes this team look really good. She was like the hidden little ingredient I think they needed to give them a little bit of interest because, you know. They are amazing in the ring and, they throw themselves into like interesting situations, which creates interesting little storylines. But what was that? But, they don't like character interest hold me much. But now we have Lacey Lane, so that could all completely change. And also, we have another contender for these trios intergender titles that we're also trying to predict and manifest for 2026. Mr. Fallen Angel is here to give us an update on the patron saint of DCMD, Layla Gray. It's not a fun one. Our dear queen will be out for a wee while, a wee while with that absolute bastard and an ACL injury. And we here in Divaville wish her a very speedy and strong recovery. Apparently, though, she and Mr. Fallen Angel had recently had a bit of a chat with a new wrestler on the block, a very freaking badass Zeta Steel, who I have to say already has expertly sachets her way in from stage right as soon as her name is called. I do love that she had that on point. I don't have enough room because I'm going to kick off something. She was there. Lexi Nair, with all the hair, is dressed in frat boy business chic and asks Zeta for thoughts. The real deal, Zeta Steele, is honored to be asked to join the team and is looking forward to future battles. It will be awesome to see Layla have a teammate to like tag team with, along with, have some more intergender matches with. Speaking of intergender matches, we had one. It was a battle. Zeta Steel gets to fight in her first battle for Skyflight and with Scorpio Sky even. They will be facing the absolute fantastic Trish Adora and Lee Moriarty from the Infantry, who are with Shane Taylor Productions. STP came out with that energy that they always bring, and I just love that about them. They get me so pumped. Their like music is so good, and they just like out. And every time they come out to battle, I'm like, "Fuck, girl, let's go!" And Trish comes out in like green camo battle gear, and Zeta is rocking the red and black. When they get tagged into the match, they instantly match energies and collide, which I didn't expect. Zeta tries to utilize her quickness against the much stronger Adora, and it works when she can take advantage of the ropes. But when she tries to do the same thing in the middle of the ring, Trish engages like statue mode and like slammed Zeta back down on the mat. Trish engages statue mode and slams Zeta back down to the mat. Me. Trish gets rough with Steel and gives her a stiff kick to the back after a very snappy hairmare. Trish Adora takes a Zeta Steel way down to Paintown with a deep surfboard stretch that extends into a split-legged twerk board. And Trish bounces up and down on Steel's back. Ugh. Trish uses her leg to roll Zeta up for the pin, but it doesn't get success. It only gets a two. Zeta manages to twist it around on Trish quickly and rolls her up for a pin, but Moriarty was doing a fantastic job at distracting the ref, so he was not there to do the count. Zeta noticed this and gets all up in Lee's face, giving him a what for. She and Gray are going to work fantastically together. I think they of like that same like spicy what the fuck you getting about with my match, I'm gonna take you out fucking vibe, and I reckon they're gonna work well. Adora, I can see why she wanted her in that Skyfly, or like yeah, like approved. That's really cool. Adora is waiting for Steel to turn around, and when she does, Trish hits her into the air and brings her back crashing down onto her knee. Trish releases a battle cry because, like, seriously, they had to hurt her as well. But Zeta just crumples down to the mat. Adora recovers, and covers Zeta for the two, but doesn't, contain her legs, so she kicks out. Zeta comes back at Adora with forearms to the abs and tries to get some momentum off the ropes, but instead just runs straight into Adora's boot as she kicks Zeta's head right off. Darius and Mr. Daniels use everything to get Zeta over to their corner as Trish crawls her way over to her own corner. The menfolk tag in and the women take a much needed breather. When Darius gets a pin on Moriarty, Trish is in the ring before the three and kicks Darius in his back to break up the pin. And this is what I'm saying about the same energy, right? Zeta has engaged rage mode and runs into the ring, screaming a battle cry and flies at Trish Adora, taking her down to the mat. Zeta beats down on Trish for a little bit, just like laying in hands. Lee removes her from his teammate and gets a back elbow to the face. Zeta does not hesitate, and before Lee can even register what happened, Zeta was turning his world upside down with the real deal, a very superb Canadian destroyer. Darius gets into the ring and they both take literal flight and take out Lee and Adora with twin tope suicidas. Once again, I have to say the outside of the ring was proving not to be the safe haven it pretends to be. After a moment to compose, Zeta rolls Trish back into the ring and tags in steel. Yoinks Adora's head before she can gather her bearings and then drives it into the mat with a satellite DDT. Zeta gets into the spirit of battle and yells some fighting words at Adora that piss Shane Taylor off because he just appears out of nowhere up upon the apron. He's a big man, so to like it just appear out of nowhere was quite the task. He did something. And he ends up taking the attention from Zeta off of Trish. The ref and Zeta are both facing Taylor, who has something to say. But Martin is having none of this, and he just goes around and pulls the apron off of Taylor, pulls Taylor off of the apron. Zeta must have forgotten that she was in a middle of battle because she just kept her back to her opponent, just looking over, just seeing what was happening with Martin and Mr. STP. She totally forgot that Trish was behind her. And by the time she does turn around, Trish is up and has wound up a lariat that just plows right through steel. I mean, look at these guns. Look at these guns. They're amazing. Totally plowed through the little steel. Oh, little steel, that's the better for her. She's not a little steel. Anyway, guns aside, Adora goes for the pin and gets the one, the two, and the three. I think we have the beginning of a very good rivalry going, well, continued rivalry going on between these two, but like Zeta's just fit right into it. Trisha Dora made her AEW debut near the end of 2021. It was on Dark Elevation against Riha. Trish has also, by the way, teamed up with the hero of the locker room and Blue Sister of Sin against the baddies on an episode of Rampage all the way back in 2022. I don't really miss Rampage as a show, to be honest. To be honest, that was a bit much. Whew, when they added like if they hadn't have added Collision, but they added Collision, and it's like, oh, that was a lot. So yeah, something had to go, and that was Rampage. But there's great fucking matches on Rampage, and yeah, you get to see these like pairings, like of especially in the women's division, these pairings of wrestlers that you're like, oh my god, and then you don't realize like the journey they're going to go on, and now like you'd imagine that now, like imagine like Trisha Dora and Willow and like Sky Blue in a fucking tag team together. That would not work. I just loved her from the moment I saw her being Trisha Dora. She is full of cheek and full of sass and has been from like the word go, like strength and sass has been like her like go-to, and she's awesome. And it's been so much fun watching her grow through AEW. So I'm so glad she's a part of AEW. I love Trisha Dora. She's so cool. And the Zeta Steel, gonna be amazing. A brilliant addition to the division. I am so glad that we spoke about Madison Rain, like in 33, because her tag match against Billy Starks, no relation, and Diamante that she had with Diana Perazzo was her final match in professional wrestling. She looked so happy, like in the middle of the ring, like thanking everyone and waving, and I am so glad that she got to have such a wonderful match to end off her like in-ring career with. That's really cool. Yeah, I know, I really like that. It was brilliant. She took the pin, you know? She ate that pin. And yeah, it won't be like it's not like the end of Madison Rain. She's obviously going to be staying backstage. So but yeah, that was a real like just a little humble little yeah farewell of in-ring career. She's dead on ROH. Didn't need a fanfare or anything. Oh, I really loved that. So yeah, so I'm really glad that yeah we chose to spoke about it. Chose to spoke about it. You know what I'm saying. So yeah, thank you, Madison Rain, for everything you have given wrestling and for everything that you are giving wrestling currently, now, and forever backstage. I'm I'm sure you are a wealth of knowledge, and that's so brilliant. I'm so glad you're with the AEW family. Yay! Speak and she shall arrive. I have to say, Billy Starks's music hits, and she is led to the entrance ramp by the ROH World Champion Athena. The champion is dressed for motorbike riding, apparently, and Starks is dressed for battle in all black. Oh yeah, and yeah, Athena must be going motorbike riding. She doesn't actually stick around for this match. Like she just, pep talks her minions and then fucks off. Athena is very animated in her battle instructions to Billy as they stay there and wait for Diamante. Diamante's music hits, which it's an absolute bop. One of my favorites, like top 10. Oh, it's such a good fucking thing. And she is in all red. The three of them make up a fabulous looking team with like Athena in the white, the red, the black, Billy in all black, Diamante on a red. That's fucking cool. Oh, and look at this poster. Isn't this poster awesome? It has all of like the colors and the evil and the I love it. Where were we going? Athena and Diamante. Oh, Athena gives, sorry, Diamante the same pep talk that she gave to Billy. Same battle pep talk, and then she just sends them off down to the ramp towards battle. They, who are already in the ring, will be facing a Shay Carmichael and a Razor Clark. If we go a little bit behind the scenes with Shay Carmichael, we learn that she was trained actually by the Forever Champ herself, Athena. So this may be why she wasn't coming down, to the ring, potentially. She has been wrestling for only 3 years. Shay's from Texas and has held the PW 225 Women's Championship and the MPX, my bad, Women's Championship. Reza is also from Texas and she has 7 years in ring experience and defeated Shay Carmichael for the MXP Women's Championship. Abaddon then defeated Razor for that title and is like the current holder of the MXP Women's title, which is also connected to the Forever Champ. So I think we now definitely know why she was not ringside. Reza has been on ROH Telly before. She battled Marina Shafir, Queen Aminata, who, by the way, has not, as far as I've seen, given any updates as to how far away she is from in-ring battle. But surely it can't be far. I have seen footage, moving footage of our dear Penelope Ford. Sorry, Penelope Ford sidebar. She did not have her like little bracy thing on, so I am hoping that means that the wing is like getting better. Anyway, back to the show. Diamante and Billy finished their battle entrance and they look so good together. It just clicks, right? Like at first I thought it was like, that's a bit strange. Like I could kind of see like Diamante and Athena, but I was like, but how does like Diamante and Billy like flow together? But my bad. Trust the process. They are amazing together. I love them as a tag team. The four face each other in the ring, and Shay and Razor know the deal and extend their hands for the handshake that is tradition. But instead of extending their hands, Diamante and Billy extend their foot and they just kick their opponent's hands away. Razor's blood boils instantly and she goes to retaliate, but Shay cools her down and guides her towards the corner. Save that energy for where the bell rings. Billy and Shay face off first. Billy is not taking this seriously at all, and she circles around Shay, taunting the crowd, completely not even paying attention to her whatsoever. They're in Texas, so of course they're chanting for Shay, and she's just like, as she does. And then she just tops it all off with a Forever Champ special. One of those good old yay that she does. But like, when Billy Starks does it, like the look on her face, it just makes it seem a little bit more sinister. Like if she does it again, look at her face, and it's like Shay gives Billy some fighting words after that. Fair enough. That's what I love about these two. They're very fiery. They're ready to get into like the face they're not going to be intimidated. Billy quickly, though, yoinks Shay's head and squeezes it in a side headlock. And Billy's got those, like, she doesn't have like massive guns, but she has like those little powerful cobra guns. So, like, they look small, but when she engages them, it's just like a boa constrictor. Just gonna pop your head off. Some good back elbows from Carmichael hit Billy in the face, but she has shenanigans and pushes Shay at the ref, interrupting Carmichael's fight, and Billy gains control again. I mean, those back elbows, they were a very, very, very good idea. Shenanigans. When your opponent is just going to engage in shenanigans whenever they want to, and the ref is not even out of the equation, how are you meant to fight that? Billy is having fun with Shay. She throws her around. She has already utilized skills she's learnt from her minion in training. Training, and Starks is just owning that ring. Shay has absolutely no chance to get any offense in. Starks throws Shay into the corner and then works on the ref again. While she distracts him, Diamante's there choking Shay from behind. All very dastardly behavior, but expected. After some, casual choking in the corner and giving the ref another good talking to, Billy tags in Diamante and they put the double team on Shay Carmichael, which looked fun at first, but then they just, kind of just threw her. And Carmichael lands heavily on the mat. We get a double gun show from the minions in training, and Billy leaves the ring, leaving Diamante to clobber down onto Shay. She goes for a pin, and when that doesn't work, Diamante switches it up and starts stomping on Shay. After that, Diamante is done, and she tags in Billy. Razor has been stuck in her corner this whole time. It must be driving her nuts, and some people say, well, she should have gone in there and interrupted, but she is actually playing smart wrestling, because as we all know, when you go in to like be all like, hey, they're doing some shit, then all of a sudden the ref is on you, and he's like, hey, 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 get your ass in there, and you're like, they're doing shit, and he's like, fuck them, what about you? Get out of the ring. And then like shenanigans just continue to happen. So smart. Razor's smart. Smart. After that, Diamante is done and she takes in Billy. Like I said, Razor has been stuck in her corner, fuming the entire time. She gives, but she does give the MIT an earful while she's there. She can at least yell at them, is what I'm trying to say. Gobby Billy gives Razor some words back, and I cannot wait until Razor can get her hands on Starks, and neither can she. Razor's words give Shay a moment to gather herself, and Billy runs right into a boot. Shay gives Diamante a back elbow, and suddenly she's free. Billy runs back at her and gets caught by Shay's legs, who then transitions it into a Hurricane Runner, and Billy flies across the ring. Hang on. I gotta remember to make my script go down while I'm reading it. Billy scrambles to get back into control, but Shay has quick feet and runs circles around Starks. Carmichael circles Billy's body and takes her down with a head scissors. Shay uses the momentum, gets to her corner, and tags in Razor, who has been itching to get into this battle. Razor takes Starks out with a stiff forearm that sends Billy rolling out of the ring. She manages to tag in Diamante, and she then clashes with Razor. Razor tries to use his strength against Diamante, but the in-ring knowledge that Diamante has puts Razor in a major disadvantage. Diamante glumps on Razor and then cracks his skull with a beautiful stunner out of a Cazadora. Billy and Diamante's teamwork kicks in to top gear, and they take out Shay, who had come back into the ring to try and like back up her tag partner, get in some double teaming of their own. It's not going to be enough, and Diamante gets the pin on Shay Carmichael, and they get the win. Good fight, but you had the odds against you. They bask in their glory and celebrate with more battle posing. Like I said, these two are dangerous together, but I really love them as a tag team. They're going to be awesome. The AEW Women's Division started 2026 off very strong. And we are in Oklahoma for the AEW events. But I have issues with Oklahoma State Athletic Commission because their rules ban intergender wrestling, but more importantly, that includes transgender wrestlers. So essentially, trans wrestlers cannot battle in Oklahoma unless it's an intergender match, but then that would be against the rules also. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the OSAC can jump off a cliff. Thank you very much. The crowd, though, the people, they are on fire. They are such a good wrestling crowd. Oh my God, there's so many of them. It's packed. They had the most best this time. Oklahoma, you were a wonderful crowd. From the moment the show starts, there is just an explosion of energy. For more bonus points, someone even has a very cool Julia Hart poster in the crowd. So shout out to those person. Those person? Shout out to that person. The remarkable Renee in all black, doing me the personal favor, Paquette, starts us off with some earlier backstage scoops. She has an idea already, but puts some questions to Ricochet, and of course, the menace that is Don Callis pops by. He gets very meaty and musky in that hallway, but Renee stands strong and gets all those scoops. Don Callis has another meeting man in his family. Where does he get them from? Who knows? How many is he going to stop at? I don't know. But until he gets a woman in that faction, I don't care. Tonight, we shall be having a celebration for Willow's amazing triumphs in becoming the first two-time TBS champion and the first AEW champ in the women's division. The hero of the locker room comes down to the ring with Harley Cameron and our world champion Chris Statlander. Renee is here too to get the goss and, celebrate as well from the AEW's first women's double champ. And there are an assortment of snacks in the ring, including a cake, which, as we all know, is never a good sign in wrestling. Though the last time there was, oh, this was ringside food though. Have we spotted a two-way split in the story of food and wrestling? Like if it's in the ring and a cake, you're going through it. If it's now like ringside, this is obviously like AEW related because there's been cake on like ringside before. Why do I sound so like commanding then? There's been cake ringside before, and no one's gone through it. So we split. Woo! We shall come back to that and see what happens there. Woo! The trio of champions come down to the ring dressed fabulously. A big party vibe has filled the arena, and everyone is filled with the joy of wrestling, even more so than when Willow and Harley and Chris come into the ring. Renee has a chat with the TBS Tag Team Champion, and Willow has a lot of words for the sickos, but also for the former TBS Champion Mercedes Moné. She doesn't drag her down. In fact, Willow has some kind words for the CEO, and she also invites her to join her in the ring. And to my surprise, the CEO actually accepts. I think even Willow was a bit surprised. Mercedes Moné's music hits, and a very solemn Moné walks slowly out to the entrance ramp. Dressed in all white, but with a definite mourning vibe. Her hat is angled down and a veil covers her face. Nothing too dramatic. Beltless as well. None of the other belts have joined her. When she finally gets into the ring, she just stands there, not saying a word, not even acknowledging anyone. So Willow starts the conversation, trying to lift Monet out of her funk. She lists off all of the accomplishments that Mercedes has managed to achieve has achieved up until now, and invites her to join in the festivities even. Willow tried really, really hard. Bless Willow. But Monet was absorbing everything she said, and it wasn't doing the vibe that Willow was intending. When Willow finally finishes speaking, Mercedes pulls off her hat slowly and dramatically, revealing her face, which is a expression full of just unbridled rage and a little cuckoo. She turns to Willow, who instantly backs off when she sees the look that is on Monet's face. But instead of raging out on the TBS champion in front of her, Monet rages out on the snacks, which I have to say has got to be an improvement, surely. The world champion has her priorities straight, and you can just see her like slyly. Just as Kenny swooped in to remove small Larry from danger, Chris swoops in and saves the cake from Monet's fits. The cake had its destiny written all over it, though, in the stars, long before we were all born. And as Monet finally turns her rage onto Willow and lunges at her, Willow sidesteps the CEO, and Monet perfectly falls face first into the cake that was held by Stat. Mercedes is covered in purple and lime icing, screaming out her frustrations from the absolute depths of her soul. Willow takes out the screaming frosting and slams Mercedes down onto the remainder of the cake with the power bomb and lays Monet out. Monet is just either like in she's just gone to that place, or she's genuinely knocked out, or she's just given up. But Monet does not move, and she gets her first pin of 2026. Bravo. Willow's music hits, and all four form a conga line around Monet's corpse and just dance the conga as we go out to break. I love it, but that's a bit shady. Even Renee got involved. Renee, you gotta watch out too, because over on Collision, we get a promo from the CEO that was probably taken like 30 minutes after this instance, after you joined the conga line around her dead frosted body. The CEO is going to be taking time away from battle here. In AEW, she specifically says, not in such a normal way for Monet. She is very erratic, as you can imagine. But she puts everyone on notice that she will be back, and she'll be back with vengeance, but obviously delivered in a very scary, very scary way. She's mad. Rightly so. She has received nothing but disrespect, and she wants to teach these bitches a lesson. Now, if she meant bitches by the IWC, I'd be like fully behind it, because I'd be like, yeah. Maybe that's her secret plan for while she's going to be away. Watch out. Maybe she's joining the 2026 battle of cleaning up the IWC. Because in all fair, the AEW women's roster has not been disrespectful to. They haven't, but Delulu over here, yeah, just think she's owed the world. But here we go. Mercedes sits on the floor in minimal lighting, just like this. And she threatens that when she comes back, she shall be coming for more than just gold. Which in my mind, I instantly, when she's coming for people's flesh. I don't know why my mind went to there, but I was like, she's coming for people's skin. We will be keeping an eye to see if she continues to battle overseas while she's, doing this little break from AEW. See if she defends one of the remaining titles that she has. And we'll obviously, talk about it if she does, but this is exciting. This is very, very exciting. I am loving the deep lore of Mercedes Moné. I really have. A small faux pas just like entwined our lore legacies almost a year ago. And it's been fun ever since. But back to the land of dynamite, okay? The battle between Marina and Tony took place that night, and I was surprised that this was happening so quickly. But then neither wrestler really like fook about with their time when they're in a rival, so I guess I really shouldn't have been surprised. Marina comes out of the shadows backstage, as is tradition. She comes out first, taking her sweet ass Death Rider time, and she stalks the ring. She comes alone, but eventually, fucking Yuta and Garcia comes out to the ring, and they end up interfering with the match and causing a bloody DQ. All of this, though, has got to be leading to an intergender match between the Death Riders and the conglomeration featuring Timeless. So even though I was annoyed at seeing the shenanigans from the men folk interrupting the match, I do love what it could potentially lead to. Wouldn't be surprised if we see the conglomeration versus the Death Riders in a future street fight. Mm. Marina battle poses on the ropes and her muscles are like wiggling under the lights as she smack talks the crowd. She does that a lot, this battle. Like she's focused on Tony, but she's focused on Tony like a bully would be, who's also doing this, for show as well. Like taking down, like this is a monument, like this is like the former like world champion. This is Timeless Tony Storm. Marina treating her like this in the ring is fully her trying to like with a power kind of shift, trying to give. But her like giving space, smack talking to the fans and all that kind of stuff. It really did work against her in this match, but we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. Tony Storm is ready to engage in battle straight away, but Marina still pisses about. Um, a lot. Like I said, she pisses about a lot during this match. Marina takes it real slow and wastes a lot of time. But, even though I'm complaining about it, I know it's strategical. I know it's all part of her plan. This is all part of her like rage bait, trying to get under the skin of Timeless. It's smart. When she finally does get into the ring, Marina just has to verbally abuse the crowd again. And then she finally looks up with Storm. Marina pushes Tony back into the ropes, and her cheeky shit comes out real quickly as she gives Storm a low kick and then runs for the ropes as soon as Tony comes back at her for retaliation. Marina, she's like, so she like kicks Tony Storm's like leg like real shittily, like just like one little like knock in the shin, and like Tony gets up and she's like, what? And then like Marina's like, and like just goes back into the ropes. She's such a shit. She's such a shit. Marina continues this bullying tactic until Timeless gets fed up, boots her in the face, and then takes Marina out with a hip attack to the outside. This is Tony Storm's land. Tony Storm drags Marina around by the hair and slams her into the barricade and the steel stairs. The dominance of Shafir is this dominance, not the dominance. This dominance of Shafir by Tony Storm is what brings the rats from the back. And Tony Storm steps right up to them and tells them to back the fuck off. Luther's here, by the way, as well, but he doesn't really engage with the Death Riders. Marina's strong legs glomp onto Tony's neck and she just drags her back into the ring. But Timeless takes advantage of this and takes it into a pin. But Marina kicks out. Marina engages stiff, violent mode again, and Tony finds herself overpowered by the pain. Tony Storm can be heard screaming out in pain after like a few kicks from Marina. She's not holding back at all. And Tony Storm can absorb a lot of damage. And I think she would have turned it around. Like I really like honestly, even after all this, even though Marina was dominating it quite a lot, she was also, like I say, fucking about this whole match. And I reckon she still would have been able to take Marina down. And it would, oof, if it hadn't been a DQ. Marina is definitely in control of the pace of this match, though. She stalks Tony a lot, which puts a lot of space between them, which could be about the plan. She would like do like a little stab and then like bounce out a hard way and then repeat, that kind of thing. Like, predator with prey stuff. She mocks the wobbly storm in a tango, even dragging her body around like Bernie, and even mock dances around the ring, which was quite interesting to see, and I didn't expect from her, but she was having a lot of fun. See, just too much fun. They continued to, and like mocking fun, not like, you know what I mean. They continue to engage in the dance of violence, and Tony finds an opening for her big package, and she glomps onto to Shafir like a tarantula. Counts the pin, fucking Yuta pulls out the ref, and there it is, the goddamn DQ finish. Boos rightly rain down from the crowd. She would have had her right there. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, Tony still would have had her. Tony Storm is still in the ring, but she's focused on what the men folk are doing and giving them an earful for interfering. She turns around, and Marina then just like knocks her out cold with like a full-on punch straight to the face. And that brings even more boos, rightfully, down from the crowd. All of a sudden, out of the blue, there's a lot of out of the blue here. Mina comes rushing down and she slides into the ring to protect her lover. But she gets a stiff kick to the chest from Shafir, which takes all the wind out of her. And Mina just twirls and crumples down onto Tony, still knowing to protect her love. Luther decides, fuck this shit, and he gets into the ring. He stands up to Marina. Well, he's kneeling, but before she can take him out, because believe you me, that's a rather a vulnerable position that Luther was in. Strong boy! He hits the ring closely but slowly, followed by Orange. As soon as he does, they get the fook out of there. The Death Riders scamper, and Orange comforts the women folk, while Luther looks on, unapproving. Hmm. It was very sweet, though. It was very, very cute. Mina has a match on Collision. And as she gets into the ring, someone hands her some flowers. No note. So are they from a secret admirer? That wouldn't really be something that Tony would do. Or is it just more shenanigans by the Death Riders? Did they send them to try and sow some jealousy seeds between the Timeless love bombs? Because I can imagine it'd be real hard to get Timeless Tony Storm jealous. So if it is them, I don't think that's going to work, guys. Or have they come from elsewhere? Another country? Another company? Hmm. Mina faced Lady Frost, who we have seen many times on AEW and ROH. Why she has not already become all elite is beyond me. Her snowball fight is so freaking cool. Mina manages to take advantage of an opening though and locks on a figure four. Lady Frost tries to fight out of it. She's very tough and can absorb the pain. But once Mina bridges, it is all over, folks. And Miss Frost taps out. Mina gathers her flowers. She's like, I love flowers. And it's like, yay, Mina, you got flowers. Who gave you? Because it's like 3 bouquets of flowers here, right? And they're a little bit disheveled because, apparently Lady Frost isn't a big fan of flowers. I can kick them out of her hands, which was very cool because then they just exploded in a rather satisfying fashion. But yeah, she gathers up her flowers and she booty shakes herself up the ramp and to the back. See what happens. Before we end, we get a fabulous trios match between the Babes of Wrath and the Cosmic Killer World Champion Chris Statlander against High My World and Vixen. Babes in Space. Both trios worked super well together in this match, and it is highly entertaining and very wholesome because no one was trying to like intentionally hurt anyone, and respect was shared all around, which was a nice palate cleaner after, Marina and her dastardly deeds. I was very impressed with how High and Maya and Vic Vixen work together, and I wouldn't mind if they turned into a new little faction. Unfortunately, this is like full on real life here. I fully ran out of time to write about this match, so I won't be going through it the way that I normally should, which is very not on brand for me since, a multi-man matches are like some of my favorite matches ever. But your girl had, a lot on this week. Whew. Woe is me. I had things. I had a birthday and was taken out for wonderful adventures, which was fabulous, but all transparency. I couldn't type quick enough and everything got a bit overwhelming. So it was great to see Vit Vixen on AE Telly, though. Go watch it if you haven't. We shall be talking about it a little later on. I'm going to sneak it in next week. But yeah, right out time this week. But it was so much freaking fun. I really, really, really loved it. You can, I didn't expect it to work so well between Cameron, Willow, and Stat, but my goodness. The whole see, I'm zoning off now because I'm just thinking about it. This is what happens when I don't have anything written down. I just zone off into the world. But yeah, it was great. Oh, it gave me the happy feelings. It gave me the good old happy feelings. This year for wrestling is gonna be good. If you feel like shit, watch that match, is what I have to say. Yeah, if you need a love injection, watch that match. It was great to see Vert Vixen on AEW Telelo. Like I said, she has been wrestling for 6 years and currently holds three titles: the BTW Women's Championship for Big Time Wrestling, New Texas Pro Women's Championship for the second time, and that's for New Texas Pro Wrestling, Sabotage Tag Team Champion with Prince Adam, and that's for Sabotage Wrestling. And that is the end of all that. Oh, that's quite nice. I've worked up quite the sweat when you do this. Huh. Oh, sidebar. All right, so I got to see my favorite band ever in the entire world when I was in Japan, right? Got to see Darren Gray. Oh, it was amazing. Things go a little bit different there, like random screaming is like not allowed. It's actually kind of like, very like uniformed. You have like the whole front is like taken by like, the knot, which is like the fan club, and they dictate what you do and what you don't do, and when you cheer and when you don't cheer, and when you sing and when you don't sing, and all this kind of stuff. But when they all headbang, I've never smelt something so lovely. All the shampoo just like flies into the air, and I'm used to this being done by like the unwashed. So like having the bouquet of lovely scents just flying through the air as we're all like, headbanging to this fucking hardcore music was like awesome. That was brilliant. But anyway, that's beside the point. What are your thoughts on this week's discussion? If you so wish, you can leave them as comments in the appropriate sections of wherever you are. And if you out there, would be so kind as to like and subscribe whilst you're there, I would be very grateful. We would all be very grateful. Wouldn't we, Penelope? See, Penelope, you'll be helping Penelope. Every like makes Penelope stronger. There we go. You can find me lurking threads at Bex_Bastet and under a tree. Oh my God, I wish there was a tree right now. In blue sky at Bex-Bastet. Follow us on TikTok at Don't Call Me Diva. And thank you to the amazing Shane, my excellent producer, editor, promoter extraordinaire, who is going to be at Maximum Carnage this week. And that's fucking go check out the Ethos Media Network if you would like to check out more diverse content good over there. Join us at sickosclub.com and Sickos Club on Threads. You what now? You've never met a more inclusive, smart, kind, and talented bunch of silly sausages who happen to also really enjoy wrestling. Be an inclusive mother. This was Don't Call Me Diva. Wrestling. Ooh, she blew it out then. Don't be a dick.